In the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution changed the world. In the 1990s, the dot-com bubble changed the world. And right now, we stand at the brink of another revolution. But this one is much more darker.
ChatGPT, a robot you can talk to.
That you can log on to.
And this change is called the AI revolution.
In 6 weeks, these guys have gone from zero in valuation to now being a $29 billion company.
AI is already taking over tasks at white-collar jobs.
Artificial intelligence has made massive leaps in capability and ease of use.
Someone else is doing your job and doing it better than you. Not a person or a co-worker, but a software.
In the past 3 years, AI has seen an unprecedented growth. In fact, this year alone, ChatGPT has crossed over 100 million users. That's faster than any other AI tools out there. However, this brings us the question, are traditional jobs are at risk because of AI? You might be seeing all these ads all over the internet where people are scaring other people about how AI is going to take over the jobs. Or there are some people who might say AI is not going to take your job, but people who can use AI are going to take your job. And this sort of a negativity is something that is spread by all these influencers, all these gurus out there who are selling AI courses. And I'm here to bust this myth. So in this video, we will actually evaluate how much of a risk AI is to traditional knowledge-based jobs, how exactly has this changed this entire dynamics of the world, and whether your job or your business is at risk or not. Now, to really understand the impact of AI in the current industry, let's take a step back and understand how exactly technology has impacted our day-to-day lives. If you remember, if you are a 90s kid like me, then you know for a fact that there were some jobs like cashiers, telegram operators, telephone operators, a liftman who would like press the buttons of the lift and get paid for it, and some basic artists, and people used to pay money for those. And as technology evolved, pretty much all of this job has been vanished. Literally, we don't see telephones nowadays a lot. Now, once upon a time, these jobs were deemed irreplaceable. Imagine if you are a data entry clerk in the 90s, you would probably think, oh, hey, there is a lot of data coming and my job is secure. But cut to today's world, you'll probably not have that big of a role to play in the dynamics of how things are evolving. Now, these jobs were the symbols of their age, right? Being a clerk or being at any of these positions, people used to think that they were stable, which is probably the biggest myth of the entire world. But where they are now, they're all swallowed by the tides of innovation. And as we zoom out, we see that today's job or business scenario is no different. AI is creating art like some professional artists, for God's sake. It's creating websites, deeming all these jobs kind of in a threat. So does that mean any of these creative jobs are at risk? In today's job scenario, if you are an artist, a musician, or a coder, there is a lot of progress already happening that might be threatening for the business or the job that you run. In fact, now we have tools like brain.fm, news.net. These are literally creating music. Tools like Descript and everything are changing the way transcription is to work, because these are literally transcribing multi-language videos. If you are a transcriptionist, you will be probably replaced by a $19 AI tool right now. Similarly, we have AI tools that can produce images like Midjourney, or now DALL-E 3 is about to come. And there is this AI tool which can create websites, for God's sake. Now, all these tools and all this progress in the field of AI is really forcing us to think, what is our position in the new evolving technology market? And I had the fortune of talking to an AI expert recently in one of the events that I met, and we had a very long discussions around what is the future, how exactly are we going to navigate this AI world, because anything that we thought was really a valuable human skill is nowadays being replaced. And this meeting started with the same exact discussion that I started this video with, how exactly the evolution of technology changes the landscape of overall business. Like take Netflix for an example. There was this particular company called Blockbuster, which used to be the hype of the day, where all the latest films to get sold in the form of DVDs. And nowadays, where are DVDs? And these are all replaced by streaming services, Netflix, Hotstar, and whatnot. And for every traditional taxi service, we have Uber or Ola, which is changing the dynamics of this entire thing. And you might still argue that creativity and strategy are still human mind generated, but even here, the AI onslaught is palpable. And there are tools that are designing, composing, and outthinking us. But to be really honest, this is more than just competition. This is transformation. Jobs are not just being replaced, entire industries are getting transformed. and being reshaped, redefined, and rendered irrelevant at some point. However, there is a twist. Even with this era, we predict that there will be businesses that will still be thriving. Now, the way this AI things function is that they take pre-existing data and they try to come up with output that our brain thinks. All AI has done so far, in fact, I would argue that this is not even AI. There is no intelligence in this system. This is more like machine learning, because what essentially all these AI tools do is they have a pre-existing learning data, and in that data they have understood what output they need to give for a certain input, and they are kind of bringing our vision to reality in a much shorter span of time. But if you have noticed, if you have tried all these AI tools, you must have noticed that the results that we get kind of mediocre. It's not as great as a good artist would create. Like the other day, I created this website out of AI. It was pretty good, but it was nowhere close to a great web developer friend of mine. He does fantastic job and makes multiple 5 figures in terms of dollars every single month. So how come his job is not getting replaced? Now you gotta understand, it's true that there are jobs at risk, there are businesses at risk. However, there is also this silver lining. You know who this AI will replace? AI is gonna replace mediocre style of working. If work is just a 4-letter work and you're just doing it to survive and you don't have like a big ambition, typically what we call B players in the team who do the work just enough not to get shouted by their managers, these are the kind of jobs that are at heavy risk in the future. Because what I've personally seen, experts who are really obsessed about little details, experts who really understand the intricacies of certain job, a certain work, they are still gonna thrive. Because in this AI driven age, mediocre, the just good enough thing is not good enough. Now that is exactly why it's not all gloom and doom like every other influencer or every other guru that threatens you about the power of AI. Because with every technology that advanced, for every .com boom, there was also a rise in internet users, and because of which we now have a different marketing field, which is digital marketing. We have rise in coding as a knowledge. That is exactly how with the disruptive technology AI is, there is going to be a lot more opportunities of growth. Now I'll give you examples of multiple industries and how exactly expert driven businesses are going to be the thing of the future. Because as AI evolves, people start to recognize the kind of content, the kind of output AI produces. And because it is mediocre, people will understand that you need to be one step ahead. Now let me give you an example of simple video editing. I have hired an expert create this particular video for me from my interview with Alex Hermosi. Now I'll show you the stark difference between a simple AI created video versus an expert created video. Now the first clip is by AI. Have a look. Because I personally feel like I'm irreplaceable in the company. The experience that I bring to my clients is not something that anyone else can come and bring back.
And the idea of like I'm irreplaceable is completely ego. And so you just have to get rid of that. Like you have to be like, I'm the most replaceable person in the business. Like
now, if you saw this particular video, what just happened was it just added some subtitles and probably swapped the screens, and that was pretty much about it. A lot of people earlier, like a couple of months back, I hired a video editor who just did this and used to charge me a bomb for this. But now this sort of work is not going to work. But let me show you how an expert driven video looks like. I published the exact same video. I gave the clip of the exact same video to an expert video editor to show you how exactly it came out.
And the idea of like I'm irreplaceable is completely ego. So you just have to get rid of that. You have to be like, I'm the most replaceable person in the business. Like from an employee perspective, they want to become irreplaceable. The owner's perspective should be the exact opposite, which is that everything that I do, I can need someone else to do better than me. And you're not going to find another you to replace everything that you do.
See how great that was? And this is exactly how the future is going to be. You see, earlier we used to have different categories for mediocre work, subpar work, and expert-led work. Now with advent of AI, the level of subpar work has risen. The level of mediocre work has also risen. But similarly, you as an expert have to up your game. Because as long as you create great content or as long as you produce great results, you understand these nuances, small nuances that kind of make a product great, you are never gonna be in the threat zone of this AI disruption. Rather, you'll always outpace all the technology advances. This is exactly what has happened earlier as well. It's not like the data entry clerks that we used to have back then, they're doing the same job now. No, they're doing much more advanced job. They're becoming experts in Excel or Google Sheets, and they're doing data analysis analysis. Now, this is exactly how, with the evolution of technology, your skill has to be upgraded. You cannot just be lazy and create like basic work and expect like phenomenal result out there. Now, this is going to be the only thing that is going to matter, that you becoming a real expert, not just an armchair guy who is like just talking shit and like creating basic work. You're probably going to get fired as well. However, if you really go ahead and create some fantastic work, you're gonna rock it in the game. Now, this is exactly what I wanted to share in this particular video. There are so many news articles, creating these threads out there showing that AI replaces this job, this company is laying off this many people. It is true, but then again, you have to look at the quality of work that these people do. Now, the thing about big companies who are doing this layoff is that all these companies are driven by punishments. There are companies like Deloitte, Goldman Sachs. These are horrible companies to work with. I mean, my friends are working there and they don't enjoy working there unless they are in a very good position, because there is a lot of punishment for the kind of work that you do. Like if you don't do a certain kind of work, there is a punishment to motivate you to do the work. But because of that, because of the punishment sort of an atmosphere, a lot of people fall to the level of punishment that people give. Like they'll do just bare minimum to avoid the punishment. They will not excel to the level of excellence. There are also certain companies which reward their employees for doing great work. In such a case, people are more motivated to do more work and really push their limits because they want to get rewarded. And this is how businesses can stay ahead of the AI game. This is how you can avoid a possible layoff in the future. If you create reward-based atmosphere where your employees are really forced to do their best, as opposed to creating a punishment-based atmosphere where they are already constantly under supervision of getting fired or getting replaced, they will do just bare minimum to not do the work, and suddenly a technology change comes and you'll have to lay off your employees, or if you're an employee, you'll get laid off. So here you have to really push forward, create really good results. Now, this is something that we were discussing in that meeting, and another question came up like, hey, there are a lot of employees who are doing a lot of hard work. They are trying to over deliver, or they're always over delivering on the kind of job that they were asked to do. How come they are getting replaced with AI? Now, here's the thing. Over delivering, overworking, your work ethics doesn't mean shit. What really matters is the kind of results you produce. Do you think that an artist who has really put their heart and soul into their work and published it somehow and didn't get traction, didn't do a lot of hard work? No, the results that they produced didn't get any traction because they probably didn't have a lot of distribution with them. So they were missing out on one or the other aspects of the kind of work that they did. Now, this is exactly what happens with employees who think that they are over delivering, but the quality of the work that you're producing may not be the best. So again, my logic or my argument comes back to this particular point. If you are somebody who does not want to get replaced by AI, you just have to produce really good quality work. That doesn't mean that you have to do a lot of hard work. That simply means that you have to produce really good results. Now, really good results can come from really hard work, can come from really smart work, or you using AI to produce them. Now, I have tested this myself. In the past 1 month, I have been creating videos and all the scripts. In fact, this particular video script was created by AI. And it was not just copy paste of an AI tool that I'm producing here right in front of you. I have actually input my own examples, my own insights, and made that script better to produce. And because of which, this new recent videos have been getting a lot more traction that they used to get earlier. Now, this is just one example. I have been doing it with my LinkedIn posts. I've been doing it with my emails. I have been using tools like ChatGPT, Leonardo.ai, or many others to create certain content which is not just good, it's much better than what I would have normally come up with on my own on the time frame that I expected. Now, this is exactly what I wanted to convey. So bottom line, from an employee's perspective, if you want to not get replaced by AI, you have to produce really good results. From an employer or a business perspective, same thing applies when it comes to delivery. However, on the other hand, if you want to not let go of your team, really want to create a good company which stands true to its core values, then you have to create a reward-based atmosphere for your employees so that none of your employees get replaced by AI. In fact, they use AI to develop and make your fulfillment systems even better. Now, the dark truth about AI, it's not these machines or AI ML things that are going to decide our future. It's us. How exactly we're going to evolve as the technology evolves to create something meaningful so that we always outpace the evolving technology. The choice is yours. Either you can do mediocre work, stay in the past, or really improve your skills to go to the future. Thank you very much for watching.